I'm a hypnotherapist and trainer in hypnotherapy. Hypnotherapy is really good for, finding out what a patient wants and sort of putting in their words and like putting that into their unconscious mind. But it doesn't actually clear out, in my opinion, it doesn't actually clear out any of the blocks that they've got. If you sort of decide they want to, say, even give up smoking or whatever it is, and you're just putting in their words what they want to hear, if they haven't cleared out the reason why they smoke, they're still going to smoke. And it doesn't matter how much you sort of say to them under hypnosis. You may be talking to the unconscious mind, but if their reason for smoking is because, well, actually, for my weight one, okay, would be for binging meant that I was going to be a nobody if I was successful. So I binge. So even if I'd been under hypnosis and they said, you won't eat, you won't binge, and in my words, it wouldn't clear it because I was going to be a nobody if I was successful. So until you can clear that limiting belief or those blocks or those traumas that have caused that, hypnosis is not going to work. I still love hypnosis, for people, for relaxing. I had a leg laser done, and I was, using self-hypnosis, send ice down to the part where it was being lasered so it wasn't burning me. So brilliant for things like that, but I just don't think it's really good for clearing out the blocks. You need other tools for that. If someone is a smoker and they've just got a habit, yes, you can maybe be able to break that and use hypnosis, but you couldn't do it if they had a real deep reason for smoking that related to a trauma that they had when they were a child or whatever the case may be. They're all good and they're great for someone who maybe isn't quite ready to own all their shit. They're quite only just want to look at this one little part of their life. So I don't have to go into deciding which one's going to be the best thing to work, because I know this works for everything that the woman needs. I'm a master practitioner NLP. So with the NLP learned timeline and everything like that as well. So for me, having been through so many different modalities, it was so different because the feeling I had afterwards was like I had actually broken through, and that I'd broken through not just one particular goal. That's what I found with all the other modalities I do. You work on one particular goal and you sort of work with that. Whereas this kind of like interconnects everything, because us as women are so different. It interconnected everything so that, the things like I'm not good enough, all this stuff that stops us from going through isn't on a particular goal. It's actually us as a person. So for me, it was just that feeling of being free as opposed to, oh, okay, so I've made some step towards that goal. Does that make sense? To me, it was just that free feeling.
Right, yeah.
I'm sort of in my power now, not necessarily, I've cleared something. So timeline, that was how I first found out about Creatrix, because I was commenting something on timeline. Timeline, again, I've always found that to be working on one goal. So you actually, you get your client to pick a goal, work through that, and then we go through timeline and we just take them back on their timeline, back to the past. It's not going far enough back to actually clear everything for them. It's not sort of, again, they're coming out with learnings, but it's very short-lived in the learnings that come out. I don't think you go deep enough to get as many learnings out as what we do with Creatrix. So it didn't cover everything. And again, everything was all on one goal. Everything I've ever been taught about it was always you do it on one goal. So you have to kind of address everything that's going on for them. You'd have to do it. It would take so long because if you're going to do a full breakthrough on everything, you'd have to do, one on health, one on marriage or, partners, or one on
areas of life.
And I used to combine hypnotherapy with timeline, so you can do timeline while they're in hypnosis. That kind of worked a little bit better, but yeah. So for me, before I found Creatrix, timeline was my go-to as well too. Combination of, I'd be using NLP questioning to sort of find out what was going on, and I might do a few sort of NLP things, but it was more timeline and hypnotherapy that I would work with the client with. For me, NLP is more of not a stand. I've never thought of it as a standalone. The timeline was a standalone, and then the NLP portion of it was just the language you use with people to get them to understand and get to talk to them in the way that it would actually make sense for them. But it doesn't even come close to what Creatrix does. I'm a kinesiologist. Kinesiology is like obviously about the muscle testing, and it's your body obviously telling you, but it's not. It's the kinesiologist actually probably making sense of what the body's telling you. So it's not the person themselves. You know, you may find an emotion with kinesiology and work through that and say, what does that mean to you? But it's not their own intelligence coming out with the answer like it does with Creatrix. So, you know, kinesiology has its place. I mean, I love all the modalities. I do have their places for different things. And energy work, again, that's me. It's my energy that's picked up on their energy to sort of and interpret it. So it's in all those modality, it's the practitioner interpreting what's actually coming through more so than what with Creatrix. It's coming out of their mouth. It's them saying what they need to hear.
Them realising, tapping into that inner wisdom.
Yeah.
So they can complement each other, can't they?
Oh, definitely. You know, even I see Creatrix as kind of everything all together in this brilliant way that sort of connects to women. So it's, you know, you've been very smart at picking up, you know, the languages and the things that mean the stories that we need to hear as women to actually break through. So yes, all these tools are great, but if you want that one tool, if you want to help women, then Creatrix is the only one. It's the number one that will actually help the people that you say you want to help. I'll always say the tools won't go to waste because, you know, as I said, I still love hypnotherapy and I still love what it can do for people, but it doesn't break through the block. So if you really want to see a woman on the other side, you need to learn Creatrix.